your nerves. We need to tell God about our specific desires. People, Hannah was bitterness of soul, and she prayed unto the Lord, and she wept silently. Hannah was torn up from the floor. She identified her problem with the desire to do something about it. She came in the temple and got in a position before the altar. Yeah, she was not concerned with who saw it or who talked about it. She was just trying to get in the presence of the Lord. And people, it's just something when you just block everybody else and just try to make your way to the altar. Because I discovered in the midst of my storm, He's the only one that can come. He's the only one who can shake and rock me in the time of my storm. The priest, you see the priest saw Hannah, tears rolling down the cheeks of her face. Yeah, he knew whatever she had asked God for, the Father was being worked out on her behalf. There might be a word for somebody here today, that God can deliver you from your penny experiences. Yeah, you may feel like God is delaying things in your life, but it's not your time nor your season. You see, he probably been laying things because you know he's not ready for what he got for you. Because your experience with God have to be your explanation to the people of God. And so in other words, when people check your spiritual criminal record, in the midst, they ought to see glory in the midst of your story. See, that's why I don't get us so sophisticated folk. We come to church just because of tradition. But Dr. Jackson, I have learned that in the 7 years of preaching, that God can make that God can be anything and everything that you want him to be. If we look at this story, Hannah was grace. You see, grace is defined as undeserved favor of God towards a man as a servant. Surely as we look at this story, she will see that her experience was characterized by grace. Hannah knew that if she kept holding on, God was going to answer her prayers. And even though you feel like the walls are caving in your life, keep holding on. Even though the bills are due and your bank account is on zero, keep holding on. Husband might have left you. Keep holding on. Wife may have, I wish I had some folk up in here who can show enough help me preach. Even though family turned their back against you, keep holding on. Boss may have lied on you, but keep holding on. Sickness might have kept you down, but keep holding on. Heart may be broken, but keep holding on. I wonder, do I have any saved folk up in here who are showing up holding on to God's unchanging hand? Because I discovered when you hold on to God's unchanging hand, that He will hold on back to you. And I wonder, is there anybody here know that God will hold on to you in the midst of your storm? I forgot y'all got it all together here. Yeah. People, what I like about Hannah's situation is that she had a problem because it illustrates that God does answer prayer. And the second reason I know it happened because she had a birth of a servant called Samuel. People, Hannah's prayer, Hannah's position, and Hannah's power caused a prophet to be born. People, Samuel was a prophet judge. Samuel was raised up by God and to the end of the period of judges and to start the area of the kings. People, Samuel lived in the day when they saw the priesthood failing, which was represented by Eli and his sons. Yeah, you see, Samuel had to do the will of God. Because if he didn't, Hannah's prayer would have failed. And people, Hannah dedicated the life of Samuel to the service of God. And people, don't serve just because it's a tradition. Serve just because you've been called to serve. Don't serve in everybody's capacity. Just serve where you've been called to serve. See, many of what's wrong with the church is that we're trying to fulfill every position. But you do what God has called for you to do. And when the end, you must say, let my work I've done speak for me. What's so important about this text is that Hannah had a relationship with the Father. She didn't have all the I's dotted, nor her T's crossed. She just knew the man for herself. And there might be somebody who is struggling with being in a relationship with God. Yeah, you've been doing any and everything. But I just want you to ask one of these saints what it's done for him. Some of them might say he's been alpha. Some of them might say he's been brave. Somebody might say he's been a company keeper. Somebody might say he's been a deliverer. Somebody might say he eased my mind. Somebody might say he fought my battles. You see, somebody always, when you get all them folks connected, what's so good about him is that he'll never leave you, nor forsake you. You see, what I like about this story is that Hannah did not give up. She just prayed in the tabernacle. And if you just keep on praying, God's purpose in your life will make everything all right. Young folk, I'll stop by to tell you something. Don't be like everybody else. Be just who you be. Don't be trying to pop like and drop it like everybody else. Because when life hit on you, when life started caving in on you, when storms of life start coming in, this the first place you're going to come to. This the first, God, what are you doing? Sometimes God had to take you through some stuff in order to get you through some stuff. And I wonder, is there anybody here who has been through the storm and the rain, hell and hot water, but God has delivered you just like he delivered Hannah. She had to pray for a son. And she said, if I pray, I will give you this son. But you got to give him to my service. You see, this was salvation. And you see, one thing about salvation is that he died. And they marched him from judgment hall to judgment hall. Yeah, they placed him on an old rugged cross. Yeah, they stayed alive for the 6th and the 9th hour. Yeah, they put him in a borrowed tomb. Yeah, he stayed alive all night Friday. Stayed alive all day Saturday night. Stayed alive till the sun refused to shine. He stayed alive till the sun took out his pen and piece of paper. Wrote out the regulation. They say